Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Power Gunner, and I am pumped for Second Son right now. Let me tell you that. I don't really think there is no official name for what I'm about to break down, but it's some new gameplay showing off a karma choice and missions that result from choosing either good or evil, and they have to do with fetch. So I'm actually going to play this complete thing. There's some cutscenes and some gameplay in it, and then I'm going to break it down after it plays. So if you just want to skip over all of it, then you can just go to the time that it says on screen right now, and it'll just skip to, or just like go to that time. I might program in some sort of annotation that automatically skips you to it, but I probably won't. Just saying that. But it's possible that I might do that. But yeah, just go to the time on screen, and that's where the breakdown will start. But you probably want to watch the thing again, even if you've already seen it. And if you haven't, well, enjoy your first time seeing it. It's awesome!
Hey, Delson, you alright, brother?
What happened?
Oh, you did good. You did good, buddy. Come on. Get up. Get up. Oh. Whoa. Hey, you did good. I know just where to put filth like this. Somewhere where Augustine won't find her, and she won't be hurting anybody else.
Hey, no. She's just killing drug dealers, man.
Killing? Delson, murdering drug dealers.
What do you think I'm doing to the DUP?
What you have to save the Akomish back home.
She stays free.
No. Dude, no way. Look, just because you have the same affliction, not gift, affliction, doesn't mean that we're gonna pick up every little piece of trash we find. Look, I'm never going to abandon you, all right? Not ever. This one goes in a cage. Oh, hey!
When it comes to conduits, it's my call. Not yours, not ours, mine.
Oh, really? So Mr. Freewheeling Badass finally wants to take on some responsibility. And for what, huh? A bioterrorist with a body count?
I love you, Reg. Don't make me break that handsome nose of yours.
Fine. When she kills someone's father tomorrow, or mother the day after that, you're the one that allowed that to happen.
You calm down.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah. You guys are everywhere.
Back off!
Idiot girl should have waited for help.
It should be my responsibility. Yeah, because responsibility is not exactly something you excel at.
I got this.
Fine. I'm here for the tribe, not the Holland bioterrorists.
I'm a conduit.
He's cool. He's normally cool. He's just... not today.
Yeah. Let's talk.
So, ready to storm the castle?
I say we wait them out. Make them come to us.
Oh, good. Sit and wait. My favorite strategy.
And why don't you join me on the roof here and enjoy the fireworks? I'm about to light up all the drug
Never
holes.
get tired of that.
You ready? Let's light up the bay.
Alright, so today we have got a lot of information about Second Son, this being the biggest thing that we've got. Earlier on in the day, we got some articles and some screenshots talking about stuff, and then we got these gameplays and some interviews and stuff. The interviews didn't really say anything that new from what I remember. Most of the new stuff is in here. And what this makes me think is that we're probably going to get a new trailer soon. I don't know if we could get one on Friday, if you're watching this before Friday, and that Friday that I'm talking about is February 14th. Well, that's Valentine's Day, I just noticed that. But anyways, yeah, there might be a trailer on Friday or sometime next week, because I realized that they released new gameplay and information and screenshots shortly before the Neon trailer happened, so they're probably doing the same thing here, and there's probably going to be some sort of a Karma trailer. But yeah, let's actually break this down now. So what we see here is an extended version. We're seeing more of the cutscene from the Fetch trailer after the assumed boss battle with Fetch. So it seems like you absorb Neon from Fetch after this little Karma choice on both Karmas. Just on one, you absorb it while on the roof, and one, it's while you are still in the crocodile restaurant, I think it is, yeah. But yeah, this shows the first Karma choice. This is the first we've ever really seen or heard from Karma, or the moral choice system. That's what they called it in the past two games. So I would kind of assume they'd call it Karma again, but they might come up with a new name for it. But for now, I'm calling it Karma. And basically, if you've never played the Infamous games before, why it's called Karma is because when you do good things, then the people in the city end up loving you, and if you do bad things, they end up hating you. So that's basically why it's called Karma, and this time with the Karma, they're focusing a lot more on the consequences of your choices and how they will really affect the storyline and the characters and their relationships. So the choice that we are going to see here, they actually don't really talk about the choice, they just kind of show what happens afterward. So some things that I have put together in the Fetch trailer, when Abigail or Fetch says that she has never hurt an innocent person in her life. She is killing drug dealers, and she doesn't think that they're innocent, so she is killing them, which is kind of on the fence of being good and evil. So she could kind of be influenced to go either way, because yes, she's going after drug dealers, that's good, but she's killing them, which is evil and not good. So the choice that you, the player, or Delsin, makes right here is either basically going to wreak havoc with Fetch, or sort of taking her like under your wing and sort of training her to become a good person and be a good conduit and not kill the drug dealers. I'll get into this more later when I break down that part of it. Okay, one thing that kind of confuses me is Delsin says, I know where to put filth like this, somewhere where Augustine won't find her.
I know just where to put filth like this. Somewhere where Augustine won't find her, and she won't be hurting anybody else.
Part of me wonders who this is, but part of me has put things together now, and I know who Augustine is. Part of it disappoints me if this is actually what it is, and I think it is. But I think Augustine is either the first name or the last name of the lady in the first trailer we saw. So if that's true, then unfortunately it's not Moya. That would be cool if it's Moya, but that doesn't mean that this new Augustine character couldn't be cool if that's what it is. Who knows, but that just makes sense because Augustine looks for conduits. If the person who we've thought was Moya is Augustine, she's looking for conduits. And she said in the first trailer that she wanted Delsin alive. Not sure what she wants with conduits alive.
I want him alive.
But she seems to be the leader or one of the leaders of the DUP. And she is seemingly going after Fetch. In the Fetch trailer, they also showed something that looks like she might be going after Fetch, because they showed her silhouette afterwards. So that's what I think it is. I think her name is Augustine. But who knows? Maybe Augustine is some sort of a nickname and she actually is Moya. But I'm starting to doubt that at this point. And this way, Sucker Punch won't make fans who read the infamous DC comics mad because Moya dies in those. But I did think that it would be really cool to see Moya come back, and I thought that it made complete sense. But yeah, from now on, I'm going to call that character Augustine until we find out more about her. So Reggie wants to protect Fetch from Augustine by locking her up and putting her somewhere. Most likely because I guess he knows that Augustine maybe does some sort of experiments on conduits or some sort of tests, and he doesn't want Fetch to have to go through that maybe. And maybe Augustine is testing on conduits or bringing them in alive so that she can take their powers through some sort of a power transfer device similar to in Infamous 2 and give the DUP their powers. If that theory is true, then I am guessing that Augustine was the original conduit to have concrete powers, and she was able to do something to give more DUP the concrete powers. That's just a theory that I have. Some article that actually came out a while ago actually said that Sucker Punch has hinted at Delsin getting the concrete power from Augustine, except for it didn't say Augustine in the article because my cat's meowing a lot. Just because the name of Augustine wasn't really mentioned then.
The Akomish back home.
So Reggie mentions the Akomish. I'm guessing that this is the name of their Indian tribe. I searched Akomish on Google. I'm not sure how to spell it, but I searched it with multiple different spellings, and I found nothing, so I think it's a made-up Native American tribe that they made up for the game. And if you didn't know, Delsin and Reggie are Native Americans, and they live on an Indian reserve that is outside of Seattle.
What do you think I'm doing to the DUP? What you have to save the Akomish back home.
One thing I noticed is Reggie says that Delsin is killing the DUP to save the Akomish back home, which I'm guessing is their tribe. Why would the DUP be going after their tribe? This is just a thought that I have. Maybe their tribe are all conduits, so the DUP would go after them if they, like, I don't know, found out that they were all conduits. But maybe the DUP just haven't really messed with the Indian reservation. One other thing that I thought of is that Reggie says that he knows just where to put filth like this when he's talking about Fetch. So do they have some sort of a secret place where they can keep conduits? Or is it just hiding her in the Indian Reserve? Or what? Probably not, because Reggie's scared that she'll hurt people who are like part of their family or something. It seems strange. Maybe it's just the sort of jail for the small Indian Reserve sort of town that they live in or something. I'm not sure, but he says he knows where to put her. Not sure where that is yet, though. There's kind of a lot of questions being raised right now with this cutscene. Okay, so now this is showing what the cutscene is like when you choose the evil choice, which I've already discussed what that is.
Don't make me break that handsome nose of yours.
I actually thought that was kind of funny when Delsin says that, because, and I'll show the clip here. Back when I broke down the E3 trailer, I said something like Reggie has a really good nose structure or something. So that was kind of funny. I really wanted to point this out. Reggie has some amazing nose structure. It's just like this great nose. It's kind of amazing and awesome. I'm noticing there's just such great acting in this game with Troy Baker as Delsin and Travis Willingham as Reggie. We don't see too much of acting from Fetch, but it seems pretty good. For some reason, I'm not remembering her actress's name right now, so I'll go look it up and tell you, because I don't want to be unfair. Alright, her actress is Laura Bailey. I don't know why I forgot that. But yeah, she's married to Travis Willingham, just saying. And Travis Willingham and Troy Baker are best friends in real life. So I think that Fetch is possibly a love interest for Delsin in the game, and that is just because on both Karmas you end up teaming up with her. And both Delsin and Fetch are sort of the sort of punk type, sort of like rebellious teenager type thing, although they aren't actually teenagers. But you get what I mean. They're both that sort of kind of person, and they both have powers, so it would kind of make sense to me. Alright, so now we get into gameplay right here. First I'm going to talk about the HUD, then I'll talk about what's actually happening, because they've added a lot to the HUD. One thing that I really like is how it's all in this sort of spray paint, or just like paint style that it is, because Delson is a graffiti artist, but also because of this, if you've seen my other videos, then you'd know that I've had a theory that paint may be one of the powers that you get later on in the game. I don't think it will be now, since paint is sort of the art style for everything in the game. I'm guessing that the menus will be paint, just sort of the graphical style to HUD and menus and that sort of thing is a sort of spray painted graffiti look. So if they already have that as part of something, I doubt that it'll be a power. It's kind of like how water is a big thing with how the environment looks and how it looks really cool in like HD and stuff like that, but Sucker Punch has confirmed that water isn't a power, but it does play a role somewhere else. Kind of like paint isn't a power, but it seems like it's going to play a graphical role somewhere else, which is obviously in the HUD and menu type things. There is a new reticle. They seem to be changing it quite a bit to try to find something that fits. Right now I'm saying that I like this one the most out of any of the ones they've shown, because it isn't just one dot and it isn't a dot with a circle and it's too complicated. It's just one dot and a circle. It's pretty simple, and I think that it works well. I'm not sure what you guys think, but I like this one, and I'd be fine with playing with this one. I'd probably be fine with playing with the other ones too, just being honest, but I like this one the most. There is a power meter at the bottom left side of the screen, and it is a sort of like orangey grayish color because it's smoke, and you will see throughout this sort of part of gameplay where he's evil and using smoke here, that slowly drains as he uses the power. So I'm kind of surprised that it doesn't drain faster, and I'm starting to get the feel that draining the power is more useful for switching powers than it is getting more of that power to use. Like, yes, you will have to drain more, but it doesn't run out very quickly. So I think it's mostly a mechanic that's in there to help you like switch powers and have a nice system with that. And in that way, I think it'll be kind of different from the previous Infamous games. Also, there isn't as much smoke and neon everywhere as there was electricity everywhere in the previous Infamous games. So I think that's kind of what they're going for with this one. There is a karma meter in the top. There is a karma meter in the top left corner of the screen. He is evil right now, and it shows a red bird sort of like killing a blue bird or carrying it to show that the red bird is kind of winning and it's beating down this good bird, showing that Delson is evil. That design is also now on his jacket, except for the bird is white, not blue on his jacket. Or, excuse me, it's on his vest, not his jacket, actually, technically. And I'm guessing that this is what the Outlaw Karma rank looks like, although I don't know if you'd be outlawed this far in the game. The only thing that makes me think that this will be outlaw is that previously we have seen on Delson's jacket that sometimes the twin eagles are pointed so that the white one is facing up more, or sometimes it's the red one facing up more. I think when the red one is facing up more, that would be thug, but they may have just changed that, and now this is the thug rank or something that is an equivalent to that, the like basic first evil karma rank. And then again, maybe there aren't ranks. Your karma meter just kind of goes up as you do things throughout the game, and they aren't really divided into ranks. And doing karma things such as executing enemies, going on rampages, or like killing civilians, those things show up near the karma meter, and they give you little karma points, which for the evil ones, they're black circles with red stars in them, and they go up to your karma meter. So I'm guessing that over time getting those makes your karma meter more like evil and red when you're doing the evil things. It's kind of interesting. I think it looks kind of distracting to see those little balls flying across the screen, and they like come from the enemy that you kill or something. So that might for a second like trick your mind into thinking that it's part of the 3D worlds in the game when it's actually just part of the HUD. So I'm not sure if it's actually going to be that bad in the game, but I just kind of noticed it here, but maybe it'll just take some getting used to. Alright, then there's the minimap. Really nothing has been changed much since the last time we saw it in the other demo gameplay. I'm thinking that this is actually more likely to be the downloadable demo if we're actually even getting one, because if you think about it, in the past Infamous games, the demos had both good and evil in them and different missions for them, and that's what this has right here. So on the map, the little yellow circles that are hollow and have black in the middle, those are just normal DUP soldiers. Some of them are actually DUP knights, I've noticed, which are the DUP conduits that have the concrete power. And there is one that is solid yellow and not hollow. That must be some sort of a boss DUP knight, because when Delsin fights him later on, he does seem to be stronger. Not as stronger as the minigun guy that we saw in the other demo, but he does seem to be a stronger knight. So yeah, that's what I was saying there. I may sound like I was going to say something else bigger than that, but I didn't have anything else to say. I don't know why I did that. And there is a little text thing that says the objective of what you are doing, which is fight through the tunnel right here. There's also a main objective marker on your map. It's the sort of white thing with a star, which is actually kind of similar to what it was in the previous Infamous games, just, well, now we have the graffiti art style, and this is what it looks like now. And we see for a moment here that the drain icon has actually been changed. It looks a bit more like the PS4 controller's touchpad, which is what you use to drain. Previously, we've heard that you put 2 thumbs on it to drain, but here it's only showing 1 fingerprint on it, so they may have changed that, but it might still be 2 fingerprints, or 2 thumbs. So yeah, anyways, after the karma choice, you kind of do 2 separate missions, and what I like about this is, from what we see here, it doesn't seem like it does something like it did in Infamous 2, where it had 2 missions, but you made the choice by going to that mission, and there's like the red mission or the blue mission. I didn't really like that, because it didn't seem like you were making a choice as much as it did in the first game. But this seems like you make the choice and then you do the mission, which to me sounds better than how they did it in the first game or in the second game. So yeah, for this mission, right here what they show is you're fighting through a tunnel and you're fighting some protesters and some DUP soldiers and knights. There's a billboard that says, "No to drugs and no to bioterrorists." And it's some organization called Lifeline. I wonder if they're going to have anything to do with something in the game. I doubt they're going to be a major faction, but I guess it's possible, but I think they're just a crazy protester group. Now, there's some sort of streaks of neon on the floor. It kind of looks like the floor is cracked and it's underneath the floor, but I think what happened, and it's also on some like cars and stuff. I think that Fetch has already gone through this part of the level and kind of scratched things up and mess people up in there, and now you're going through, like, following her or something. And there's no drain icon when you walk by the neon, so I don't know if that's drainable or just an effect of Fetch leaving her sort of neon trail there. One thing that we see that is really cool is when an enemy or civilian is downed, you can press square to execute them, or you can press triangle to subdue them, which would be kind of like capturing them, or kind of like using the arc restraints in previous games. So it doesn't look like there's healing this time around, and instead of a bio leech, there is just executing someone. I really like that you don't have to go up to a person and hold R1 for this to happen, and it's just kind of while you're walking by someone you can press it. Now this DUP knight here uses like a strange concrete power that we haven't seen before. It looks like a concrete whirlwind thing. He like gets concrete and makes it spin a bunch, and it says that you can press square there. I'm guessing that would be to execute, but it seems strange that it would do it while he's doing that. Maybe that's what it looks like when they drain concrete, because he didn't really attack Delsin with it. So that's what I'm guessing what he's doing there, is actually draining the concrete from the concrete he's standing on. So one thing that we see here is that you could have actually executed him while he was standing, or you could have also subdued him while he was standing. Maybe this DUP was in a weaker state, so you could just do it while he's standing and not on the ground yet. So that's kind of interesting that you can just go ahead and do it, and you don't have to always wait for them to be on the ground. The protesters have a Fetch poster there, just saying like, "No to Fetch. This is a highly wanted conduit by our little no bioterrorists cult." So this boss knight that we see, he can do like a sort of rock teleport thing, which I haven't seen the other ones doing, which is kind of cool. So that's what it shows for the sort of little evil mission that you do there. And now this is going to show the good karma choice cutscene and the good mission. And now that I think about it a bit more, I don't really think that the little karma point ball things, I don't think they bug me too much. I think it was just kind of, at first, it seemed kind of weird, but I think if they don't change that I would get used to it in the game and it wouldn't be too bad. But if they can, I would like them to maybe change it in some little way, just as a sort of small thing, kind of like how in one of the most recent gameplays of the other demo, the camera went behind a lot of things and had weird angles, and if possible, I'd kind of like them to fix that too, because it kind of seemed like the camera could go through anything, and there were no walls that would kind of block the camera or like move it. I'd like to see something better with the camera too, if anyone from Sucker Punch watches this, and if they didn't watch that. So Reggie seems to be really loyal to the tribe and to the small town where he's a cop.
I'm here for the tribe, not the Holland bioterrorists.
I'm a conduit.
Which makes sense because he's a cop. And Reggie just seems like a good person, although sometimes this is where Delsin comes in. You kind of have to make some decisions that Reggie isn't necessarily making the best decision at, although he's trying to just be a good person and trying to keep people safe. So here's the good mission gameplay. Delsin is using neon in here, and as you can see, the power meter is now purple instead of being the sort of like orangey gray color that it was for smoke. And for the karma meter, the blue bird is now sort of like killing the red bird, and it's actually facing the opposite direction, just something kind of interesting there. I think that when you start off the game, the karma meter will just kind of be the two twin eagles, and then one will kind of take over the other as you choose a certain karma throughout the rest of the game. And yep, his jacket is similar to the good karma meter thing that we see here. And again, I don't know if that's the second level of good karma or if they even have levels. And if that's the second level, it'll be champion, but this could be guardian, which is the first one. So I don't really know. So in this sort of little mission dealio, Delsin is at some docks, and you're actually fighting drug dealers, which are red on the map, and you're supposed to capture the drug dealers. And you're kind of like teaching Fetch to not be evil and kill them, but to capture them. And the objective by the minimap says to defeat the drug dealers. So yeah, we see there are snipers returning, which isn't a huge surprise. They have the little laser targeting thing. And there's a sort of slow-mo zoom that you do here. And I just noticed that the aiming reticle is actually slightly different for Neon. There isn't that little bottom part of the circle. That's just kind of gone. So that's kind of cool. I guess the different powers will have slightly different aiming reticles. So yeah, it does this slow-mo thing, and it is timed, and when you shoot the guy's legs when it's slow-mo, then it does something to subdue them, which is similar to the arc restraint, and it kind of just restrains them on the ground right there with some neon stuff, and they're kind of stuck there for cops to deal with later or something. Also, the drug dealers' heads glow red when you zoom in with this, and I am sure that that is not a power they have. That is just the effect that it has, probably just to point out some bad guys, because I think this is how you are going to be able to precision snipe better in slow motion, similar to how you did in inFAMOUS 1 and inFAMOUS 2. You zoom and it goes into slow motion, and their heads lighting up helps you spot enemies at a longer distance to snipe them. I'm not sure if this happens every time that you zoom with neon. It didn't in the last demo. We didn't see any of this slow-mo thing, but this might be every time that you zoom in with neon, which wouldn't bug me that much because you can shoot when you're not zoomed in, and shooting when you aren't zoomed in isn't that bad. And also, being in slow-mo isn't that bad, and also, like, you couldn't just hold down zoom if it does do the slow-mo thing every time, because your slow-mo would run out. But that's kind of like with the precision. You couldn't just stay in precision for forever, although that did last longer, but the shots took up a lot of energy in the previous inFAMOUS games. So right now, I'm thinking this is every time you zoom with neon, it goes into slow motion. And as I've said, I like this because it's like a sniper thing, and I like how the heads glow so that you can see people from far away. So he could have sniped these guys from here, but I don't know if that would have made it harder to subdue them or what. And by the way, this guy's pretty good at playing, and he's a guy from Sucker Punch, so he knows what he's doing. He's not like that dude from IGN. One thing that we see here for a little split second is that we see another neon being shot, and not from Delsin. So I'm guessing that Fetch is nearby, and she just shot at them once. I didn't spot it throughout the rest of the gameplay while Delsin's fighting the guys down by the dock that Fetch is shooting at them. But I just kind of noticed it here. And you get blue karma points for good things. Who would have guessed? And they have the little blue titles. And these good things will be things like enemy subdued and stuff. Yeah, but more awesome neon dashing. We actually see here that there is a neon grenade. We'll see a bit more of what it does in a second. Okay, so here we see Delsin use the neon grenade, so there is actually one in here, and it does something similar to the upgrades for good on the electricity grenade in the first 2 games. It can make enemies fly in slow motion for a short amount of time, and he uses this plus the zooming slow motion to subdue this guy. Alright, I'm going to be honest with you here. This might be my favorite, or one of my favorite parts of this new gameplay thing that they showed, is the neon melee. So neon does actually have a melee. I said it didn't in a previous video because some articles said it didn't, but that wasn't for the final game, that was just for that demo, I guess. And what's strange about this is, maybe I can find the clip from a video or something, is that I predicted what the neon melee would be a few months ago with seeing nothing from what it actually was. I just made a guess, and I was right. Your chain extends, and it's basically a sword with neon on it, and it's like a lightsaber. How awesome is that? You have a neon sword lightsaber thing, and that's the sickest thing ever. Like, that right there makes me think, okay, neon is really awesome. Like, sure, it has awesome sound effects, and it looks pretty, and the dash looks awesome, but that right there, that is the one thing that makes me think neon is so cool. Like, I already thought that it was as cool as smoke. Now I might think it's slightly better than smoke just because of that. Just because of that. It's so cool. Oh my gosh! Yeah, that was probably the most surprising and exciting thing for me in this, although I liked some other things that they showed, obviously. That looks awesome. I'm just gonna show that in slow motion over and over. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's a neon sword lightsaber. Dude, it's like purple lightsaber mace window. That's so cool. And I predicted that. I probably already showed the thing, if I found it. This is actually what I thought it would be. It's kind of like straightened out, and I'm guessing that he like swings it kind of while it's straight, or maybe he like uses it like a lightsaber, who knows. So yeah, then Fetch calls Delsin, and he meets her up on a roof. We don't see him going to the roof, it kind of just cuts there. And then she blows up some of the boats that had the drugs on them. And yeah, that's the end of this. Also, Fetch's neon seems more red than Delsin's. His is more of a purpley, bluey, pink neon. Also, that might change based on your karma. Oh my gosh! I just noticed something. Okay, we need to go back here for a moment, because I might be stupid and I just noticed something. Okay, when Delsin's good, you kind of see that his neon has a bit of blue in it, okay? There is a screenshot that came out earlier today that shows some sort of neon stuff. I couldn't make it out, and when I first saw it, I thought that it was smoke, and it looked kind of like it was a sword, but I wasn't sure if that's what it was, but it looked kind of like it, but I thought it was smoke because it looked kind of red. But the neon actually looks kind of red-purplish when you're evil. I'm pretty sure this is it. I'm pretty sure the powers do change colors based on your karma. Right here, I think, okay, I just found this out, so now I'm kind of excited about this. Then, I also just realized this. So, when Delsin's doing the evil mission, and he's using smoke, I thought something looked kind of weird and different with the smoke. It's because the fiery part of the smoke, and probably the smoke too, the smoke is like blacker, and the fiery part is more redder and kind of darker in color too. So, that's cool. Not quite sure what the, good smoke would look like differently. Maybe it just looks like what we've been seeing, but it's probably somewhat of a lighter smoke and a brighter sort of fire and not as dark. But that's cool. I just found that out right here. Wow, I just realized that. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. There's your answer to if karma affects the color of your powers. It most likely does. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. And Fetch's neon is probably kind of reddish right there, because I guess she's kind of evil-ish at that point of the game, but I don't know if other characters' powers change based on their karma or not, but that's pretty sweet. I just found that out. So anyway, guys, stay tuned to my channel. There is a probability of some sort of a karma trailer coming out soon for Second Son within the next week or so, maybe on Friday, as I said. I don't know, you're probably watching this on Thursday, that is before that Friday, or sometime after. But yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool things. Karma, powers change color, Augustine, and that's not Moya. But yeah, there's that person, Augustine. We know who that is, most likely. And powers change color based on your karma. That's kind of ish confirmed. Not completely, but it definitely looks like it. So, Wow. I just got really excited. We found out a lot, didn't we? Alright, high five to us. This is probably a really long video, but you know what? I don't care. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more stuff. There's probably going to be some, like, trailers soon. And thank you for watching. Goodbye. Have a great day.